I got my boy Jay Vegas here, and we was on social media. He brought up a topic about black people standing in solidarity with Asians during this turmoil and this violence that Asian people are going through. So I wanted to bring his brother on so he could speak about it because he been on the front lines. He been out there protesting. How long have you been protesting for? Since you said '01?
Oh, one.
So that's 20 years. So that's 2 decades. He been protesting longer than some of y'all been alive. And he's saying that we bugging, or people are bugging, saying that we shouldn't stand in solidarity with Asians. You know what I'm saying? Like me personally, I'm not out there protesting. I'm doing things with like the black economics, but this brother's protesting, so I would like him to speak on it. So that's my introduction to you. If you want to give your introduction yourself, you can go ahead too, unless you want to go straight into it.
Let's go straight into it. We can do
Uh,
that another time. It's not about me. It's more bigger than me.
yeah, facts.
Um, Not my thing is this. Let's get to the before we get to the protest. I want to get to just the root of everything.
Yeah,
In my opinion, how I feel is, as we know through science, black people are the first people. So that means everybody came from everybody, right? So that means we are the leaders. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And in this situation, we need to lead and lead with love. We see one of our people because they come from us, hurt, we need to step up and do something about it,
facts.
especially when we're facing the same enemy, you know? Like who's going to lead? What coach is going to lead us to all unite to get rid of this enemy?
Mm,
We've been battling this enemy longer than anybody else, and we haven't been able to conquer this
yeah,
enemy. We made strides. We did a lot this year and years prior, but
mm-hmm,
we have not conquered this enemy.
yeah,
Now, someone else have this same enemy that we have. They're doing the same stuff that they was doing to us. You
yeah,
know, so why not come together in unity to try to team up and get rid of this enemy? Now, also, why don't we show love and compassion for another human being at that?
yeah,
So that's what I want to start with. Like, just be a good person. And being a good person, you see somebody hurting the way you were hurting, so you should be able to sympathize and be there for them.
yeah, facts. Because I see people saying like, Asians ain't there for us, and that's their problem. And I ain't gonna lie, I kind of get that, but I have empathy for what they're going through because I feel like personally that we by ourselves as far as black people, we by ourselves, and it feels like every group of people is by themselves. But what you were saying is like maybe we should all come together and I guess have like a coalition and I guess have a common ground of what we should just go forward with, right?
Correct. You
Yeah,
know, um, but as far as the protesting go, let me tell you, they have been out there. There's people like Rachel Hugh that I personally know that's been out on the front line.
yeah,
There's been plenty of Asian groups out there, Blacks for Asians in Washington.
hmm,
People don't realize they say, "Oh, not that many Asians." For the amount of Asians that we have in our community, for
yeah.
me to see hundreds, that's a lot. That's a lot. There's not that many Asians in these communities.
No, it's not.
You understand? So it's a percentage thing also, you know. And lastly, really, I want to say this. I don't, if you grew up in, the hood or wherever else, like I grew up in, Roosevelt, Hempstead, whatever in the 80s,
Yeah,
we were all watching karate movies, pretending
yeah,
to do the Buddha finger and everything else. And,
yeah,
we was out there, playing Street Fighter, everybody picking Chun Li, cheesing with that spinning round kick, cheesing with martial law or loving Bruce Lee and loving Mortal Kombat, bro. Like that's their
yeah.
culture. We wouldn't have Wu-Tang Clan without them, bro.
True.
Wu-Tang Clan whole thing was about the Asian culture, bro.
Yeah,
Like Chinese food. No, I grew up on Chinese food, bro.
yeah.
Just their whole culture and what they do. I couldn't even do this interview without them because I've got a Samsung phone, bro. So at the end of the day, like that's what white people did to us, bro. White people took our culture,
Yeah.
took our product, benefit of it, and then like whatever with y'all. So for us to do that to them is foul, bro. Like in my opinion.
So what do you say to the people who say like when you go to like the China or go to overseas, the stuff they doing to black people over there as far as like that old video of the dude that got thrown in the washing machine, they made him white because him being black wasn't beautiful. What do you say to that?
I say that's foul. I say that's wrong. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? I say that we got a lot of work to fix those things. I do say that maybe an isolated incident or it may not be. But as far as what's going on here in America,
yeah,
these are Asian Americans, Asian Americans,
yeah,
not the Asians that's in Asia. Now, are we going to sit there and be held responsible for what the Africans do in Africa? And we're African Americans. You know what I mean? So that's my whole view. You know what I mean? If you're gonna think one way or believe one thing, or you gotta treat yourself that same way.
yeah. Because, like, for me, I know, like, when you was putting a post up about we need to send solidarity, I know sometimes I'll put a post up, like, about Joe Biden, and people automatically assume that I'm a Trump supporter. I just don't like Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? I just tell people I don't like Joe Biden. It got nothing to do with Trump. It got something to do with Joe Biden. I just want you to come here and just, clarify things and just, because I go through it all the time. And people be DMing me like, yo, you must be a Trump supporter. I'm like, who says that? I just said I don't like Biden. But, sometimes people see what you're saying, and I just like, yo, I just want my man to come here and clarify because I didn't know. I just wanted to ask you too. You know what I mean?
Well, also, I mean, this is just another piece. Also, I want to say, you know, people don't realize Asians aren't just Chinese people.
Yeah, I
You
know
know what
that.
I mean? It's Japanese, it's Indian, it's a whole
Yeah,
cluster of different countries put together. You
yeah,
know, so that becomes a slippery slope when we just keep discriminating and not standing together with people, because you know, my daughter is part Asian. You know, her mom is half Asian. She's Sri Lankan. You know what I mean? And that's her culture. That I'm teaching her Asian culture. You
yeah,
know, and to hate Asians is to hate my daughter. To hate my daughter is to hate me. And if y'all want to hate me, go ahead. But I'm sitting here fighting for all of my people and everybody. That beautiful smile, that beautiful comments that everybody talk about my daughter. Oh, she's so pretty. No,
yeah,
well, those eyes are the Asian eyes.
hmm,
So you know what I mean? Like, don't do that because you
yeah,
don't know who you're hurting or who you're affecting.
yeah. That's facts. So I just want to get your point of view on it. I want you to educate people on why we should stand in solidarity with Asians. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people say that we shouldn't even be bothered with it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people saying that that's not our thing, that's not our problem. Let them deal with it. But you saying that we should, and I just want to get your opinion out there. And yeah, whatever. So
Well, can I end with this? I just want to say at the end of the day, you know, everybody believe and most people believe in some type of higher being, God,
yeah,
you know, and we know God is love, you know, and love heals all problems. All these things that we're going through, the hate, all this other division and stuff like that. If you lead with love, we
hmm.
can get rid of a lot of these problems. So, you know what I mean? Just love, and that's it.
So like, if you say lead with love, do you think the enemy that we have is leading with love? You think we could outlove our enemy to come over that, or we have to fight? How, like, what would be the way to combat that?
Well, honestly, you know, I'm working on myself with trying to, I'm not 100% there because
Yeah,
I am, you know, aggressive at times and have
yeah.
a temper, but,
You're a Scorpio.
yeah.
Say that.
But, I do see the difference. When you lead with anger and hate and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it only makes things so much worse and it just get out of hand. But when you lead with love, you know, I feel like the solution come quicker and better,
I agree.
and you learn a lesson from it. So I don't know if I'll be out there with them turning the water hose on me like Dr. King. I don't know if I'm at that level, but
Yeah.
um, you know, we got to try to do something. Just marching with each other to help each other is a great step. No pun intended.
Another question. So, do you feel like the marching and stuff like that is helping?
I do because that marching. If I didn't march, I wouldn't. I don't believe I would feel this strongly about Asians because they was out there with us. I
Oh,
wouldn't, you know, I would have more of I would have more bad blood with white people because I didn't, you know what I mean, I wasn't out there and they was marching. You know what I mean? So I seen a whole cluster of people like, you know, my grandma once told me that, you know, her dream was for all black people to unite, black people to unite. And here's 2021, and not only did her dream come true of black people uniting, but all different races all over the world, all over the country are uniting
Yeah.
with us. And we can't just start pushing them away because that'd be doing us a disservice in what we're trying to do.
Yeah. What do you think should be our end game as far as black people? Like, what should be the end game? Like, is there an end game? Will this ever end, or just it's going to just keep going?
I, I don't think there is an end game for the way the world is and how things are. Is like there always will be hate. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If there's love, there always will be hate. So I think it's finding peace within yourself and just keep on, teaching and educating and loving each other. I mean, you can't have one without the other, but it
Yeah.
don't have to be so severe. It doesn't have to be in this manner. It could be it's a teachable moment, and we'll see. I don't know. I don't know. I just think that if we could just
Yeah.
keep learning.
All right. So now, like you said, we keep learning. Do you think it's easy for white people to learn? I know you can't answer. You're not a white person, but like, say,
No, actually, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. My great grandfather is Irish. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I met him, I know him, and stuff like that. But I think we all mixed throughout
yeah.
somewhere, unless you're straight African. But
So do you think white people can learn, or is it easy for them to learn? Because it seems like it's a lot of stumbling and hiccups. Like for example, um, I give you like the Sharon Osbourne situation, right, where she was defending Piers Morgan, but Sharon Osbourne didn't see how either none of this stuff was racist, and one could argue it wasn't racist. It was just her having this disagreement, but they said it was racist. So how could they like learn? Like what would be the situation? How could a white person learn about racism? Like I don't.
um, I don't think it's learning is the issue. I think some of the most racist people know it all about history. I think
Yeah,
about its acceptance and admitting. A lot of people, white, black, or otherwise, have a hard time admitting that they're wrong. You
yeah,
know,
true.
and with the racism, not only do you have to admit that you were wrong, you have to admit that your grandparents was wrong, your great great parents was wrong. You have to admit that, like, if it's that deeply rooted in your history,
Yeah.
that all these people were wrong. And people don't want to do that.
So do you know about the Piers Morgan situation out there and with Meghan Markle?
I don't. I don't really.
So like, for what I understand, for what I've seen, they said that Piers Morgan just said he don't like Meghan Markle. Like, what is she like the princess or something like that, the Duchess? He said he don't like her. Then people were saying that he was racist. He don't like her because she's black. He just said he don't like her. Then Sharon Osbourne was defending him like maybe he just don't like her. You know what I'm saying? Like so sometimes do we throw racism on things that don't need to be there? Like to me, I feel like that wasn't a racist comment. He just say he don't like her.
Well, I don't think that it don't sound like it was a racist comment. I do think people may overplay the race card sometimes,
Yeah,
but I'm a person that feed off energy. So if someone is saying, "Oh, I'm not saying it because I'm racist," and I feel the energy that that's not true,
yeah,
what I mean? I might, ask some questions or feel a certain way about that. So, I wasn't there. I didn't,
see it.
participate in the conversation, so I don't know what the energy was like.
True, true, true. It just like I don't know. Sometimes, like you said, we overplay the race card. I think that's a disservice because how could we move forward if we keep pulling that card out? You know what I mean? Like, what was another time we damn, I'm trying to think of another situation with a race car. Like, was it really that racial? Like, I don't know. Sometimes we just overplay it. Like you said, it's like you play spades. You start leading with spades before anything else. Like, you're about to renege or you about to run out of spades. And sooner or later, you ain't gonna have no more
Not,
spades. You got to play. You know what I'm saying? We can't fight every battle.
yeah, but you also have to, take in consideration that racism have been underplayed for so many years, so many decades, so many
Yeah,
centuries. So, like it may not, certain situations may not be so racist, but it's like y'all underplayed it so much. Nah, all this is racist. But I feel a little bit of racism is racism because of what y'all did prior to and how y'all denied it before. Yeah,
yeah.
so it's like just trying to find a balance. I think a lot of times.
So what do you feel about cancel culture right now? Not to change the subject. Do you think it's too much?
Um, um, you know what it is for me? It I subscribe partially. I think like the Pepe Le Pew thing is
Yeah,
kind of much.
yeah,
It's a character that these writers wrote. So if you're mad at anything, mad at the writers, be mad at the company that created the character. But not only that, like I watched that cartoon growing up. That little cat was after Pepe Le Pew sometimes too. So
yeah.
like, and who knows how skunks uh deal with other skunks. Like that might be normal for skunks. And he thought that that skunk was a skunk and was doing some normal stuff with a skunk. And you know what I mean? We
Yeah,
don't know. Like look at dogs. Dogs just stay sniff people butts off the whip. Like like
yeah.
that's a dog. So like you know what I mean?
That's,
But like
that's real
like
facts
so,
though. So like I don't like it because there's no end game with cancel culture. So like if you're gonna cancel Pepe Le Pew, then you got to cancel like Johnny Bravo, right? Because it's the same type of
yeah,
cartoon that's aggressive.
Quagmire, definitely.
Then you got to cancel Monique character from the Parkers because she's always trying to get Professor Ogilvy. Like, how
Yeah.
far is it going to go? You know what I mean? That's why I was like, nah, there's no end game. And
Yeah,
sometimes,
I think that I'm sorry.
no,
I think that that cancel culture that should not be a part of comedy because comedy is made to laugh at our pain and make jokes of our pain and stuff like
yeah,
that. So what I mean. I think that that's where it's too far. I mean, if someone is doing that in their personal life and promoting that in their personal life and hurting people personally,
yeah.
then cool. But if it's for entertainment and laughs and giggles and whatever, what I mean, then we have to cancel. Like we would have to cancel all these people that made all these slave movies and all this other stuff. Like we got to cancel everything entertainment, and that's a chance for us to learn and for us to release and enjoy ourselves. And so I think that that part of cancel culture, like with the entertainment and comedy stuff, is uncalled for.
So, what part of cancel culture is called for?
When you hear about um R. Kelly raping these little girls or stuff like that when people are really doing this stuff in their real life. But even the R. Kelly situation, I mean, is a chance for us to learn because that was mainly mental health issues and
Yeah,
people just providing that service for him. So it was more than just him, in my opinion. But you know, when you're doing it and what's the dude name Epstein and all these people that stuff, we
yeah,
need to cancel that type of stuff.
yeah. It just, I don't know. Just, I do believe like sexual acts like that, like Harvey Epstein and I mean, what was it? No, Harvey Weinstein. People
Yeah,
like that. What do you think about like Bill Cosby? He should got canceled.
I got mixed feelings about this Bill Cosby because I don't first like there's a lot of conspiracy out there that may be true, may not be true about but also the whole way it went about, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around it. I feel like you know, that's how the culture was back then a lot of times. Also, like this is a married man. He's wrong for cheating, but you at his hotel room 2 o'clock in the morning, you talking about you want to do drugs and you
Yeah.
keep coming back to him. And so for me, it's just like
Hold on a second.
it's
Turn my phone off. My bad.
uh,
There we go. Okay, I was just saying.
nah, nah, the whole Cosby thing, it's just hard for me. At one point, it's like, that's wrong, but at the same time, like they will quaaludes and all that other stuff. That's what they was doing back then. And then you keep going. Like if somebody raped me, I'm not going to go back the next night and the next night and the next night.
He's not.
But I don't know the
Well,
mind
yeah,
of
yeah.
someone that's been raped.
Take that back. I'm gonna say that's not.
Yeah.
I can't define rape. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. Who else got canceled? That shit got canceled. What do you feel about the statues being taken down?
Oh, they needed to always taken down. And I'm mad that they wouldn't take down the statues in Long Island. But you know what? Long Island is so very racist. I'm not surprised. And
Yeah,
only those type of communities are won't do that. Like, bro, like this person hurt your community, and we got to ride past and see this all the time and be reminded of that pain that our ancestors went through.
yeah.
Nah, that's not cool.
But now I don't
And
know.
hold on, why they didn't? And I'm still like, even though it don't really matter, Harriet still is not on the 20. What's going on with that?
I think it's a bad look.
You think it's a bad look?
Yeah, because it's like we get tokens. We don't get no real progression. You know what I'm saying? And we got to share our progression with everybody else. So it's not no more. Let's do something for black people. Let's do something for people of color. So everybody else is getting benefits from whatever president's in the in the seat or whatever the government is doing. But us, we get harried on a $20 bill. What is that going to do for our issues? It's not doing anything. It's just a token.
All right. So why can't we get both? Why can't? Because you know what? When you see something, that mental health is a lot. Is very big.
Yeah,
So if if you see your father doing something all the time, chances are you're gonna do it. If you see a female black vice president, chances are you're gonna see another one eventually. If you see that there's importance, we worship money. Not we, but I don't worship it. A lot of people
yeah,
worship money. So it's all about the Benjamins. You know what I mean? We
yeah.
could make a song repping black people. It's all about the Harriets now. You know what I mean? Like,
Now,
so it just
do you think rappers will rap about Harry Tubman on the $20 bill? They don't.
absolutely. They've been rapping about it already. Big Sean been saying a bunch of stuff.
But I'm saying like they don't talk about that amount of money as a bill. They talk about Benjamins. They might talk about grants. They don't talk about 20s. So why would they start talking
Yeah,
about
but because they talk about it, what we're looking at it is them talking about glorifying the higher price things. But more the conscious rappers like a J. Cole, like a Kendrick, like a Big Sean, stuff like that. They would use that in a different light, so they can rap about stuff like that and bring more knowledge and more inspiration behind it.
Yeah, but I think it's just we just need to have our issues solved first before we start getting tokens. You know what I'm saying? Like we got
Um,
if it's a police officer, you know what I'm saying, like the what happened? George Floyd. I think that situation should be like you gotta hold the people accountable, not go back and forth. So like after George Floyd got murdered, they start doing defunding the police in Minneapolis. Now they started double down and putting more money into the police in Minneapolis. But they do it under the rug. You don't know about it. You know what I mean? So it's like they going back and forth. I'd rather them be consistent with our issues than put a 20, say Harry Tubman a $20 bill. And I think it's going to be Harry Tubman on the $20 bill, and the other side going to be Andrew Jackson. So you will have the runaway slave that freed people and the slave owner on the same $20 bill.
nah, they ain't gonna do us like
You
that. They do
sure?
us like that's bad. I
I
don't know. I
think
mean, we just, I don't, that'd be foul, but uh, no, you know what? I do agree with you that we should get more done, and based on what's been going on. I just feel like why can't we get both? And as like for the George Floyd and Breonna Taylor situation, I think it's so very foul. I mean, the situation itself, but also you make laws and things all out of their names. The George Floyd, they got a George Floyd law, a Breonna Taylor law, whatever.
mm.
But yet these people don't get justice. So that part doesn't sit well with me.
See, that's another token. You put the name of a law for somebody, but you don't get the satisfaction of justice, like you said. That's just a token.
Yeah, I agree with I agree with that part about. That's why, like I said, I want it all. We deserve it all. Why
Like,
can't we get it all? Why
like
can't we? Why we gotta get one thing first and one thing? No, give us everything.
yeah, it's like all right, say like all right, the cop that shot Breonna Taylor or the cops that shot Breonna Taylor, they can win in the civil trial, but they can't win in the regular trial. You know what I mean? So they can get money saying that they did wrong, but nobody's held accountable in real life, only financially. And that's like they probably got fun for this on put aside for that, whatever. So like these cops are still getting paid the same amount of money, but you know what I'm saying, it is what it is, I guess, right?
I mean, it's not. It is what it is. That means we just gotta fight that much harder. But people can't tell me. I used to think protesting didn't work or all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
but as I started protesting and started seeing change, when in 2001 there wasn't millions of people protesting. There
No,
was not. You know what I mean? There was hundreds of people. You know what I mean? At
yeah.
these rallies, it was very scarce. But through my time protesting, I've seen it get bigger and bigger. The impact become bigger and bigger. So it's not that we gotta do one thing and it's an end game. It's not that. It's we gotta continue to keep on doing. It's a continuous process. And you know what I mean? Like that's how we're gonna keep making change by just keep on fighting.
Do you think the politicians are being held accountable? as far as the changes that we want.
I think the
Because
politicians are being politicians.
yeah,
I think they're being politicians. You know what I mean? They saying what they need to say to get the results they're looking for. Some of them have a more caring heart and try to do certain things.
yeah,
But if it hurt what they're doing, they're not going to, subscribe to it.
facts. Like I don't know. I don't see like we gotta change ourselves. We gotta be the ones that change within ourselves. We gotta start holding things accountable. You know what I mean? Like I put that video up about what Candace Owens said about Cardi B, and a lot of people attacking me saying, "Why you posting Candace Owens?" And I'm like, "Y'all not getting the message." You know what I'm saying? Like I understand that people have an issue with Candace Owens and people have an issue with Cardi B, but like it's about the message about like, yo, who is pushing this stuff out, and why we not holding people accountable as far as
Yeah,
music? Like you got a daughter,
no,
like
no, no. The music thing, I definitely agree with you. See, like we are the culture, but however, somewhere, somehow, we let money infiltrate our values, our morals,
yep,
and our creativity.
yep,
And like now we it's like we shucking and jiving for the almighty dollar all over again. You
yeah,
know what I mean? So people try to disguise it as, oh, owning back your sexuality.
yeah,
Oh, you free to say whatever you want. Oh, I don't want to be a role model. You want to disguise it. You want to say those things, but at the end of the day, all you doing is you're hurting your people for a check, or you don't care about everybody else. You don't want your daughter doing it or listening to it. You
yeah,
don't want your son doing this or doing that, but you rather everyone else kids do it because everyone else don't have the financial structure to be able to monitor their kids as much, or just a lot of other things when it comes to parenting,
yeah.
or like you can't block stuff out. Like it's on the radio. You understand?
So
If it's
you,
on the radio, that means it's everywhere on every social platform.
yeah,
So, and then now it's on the Grammys on regular TV.
on Channel Two.
So, yeah, like
That's
that's
the
like
first
like
channel.
everybody got Channel Two.
That's the first
That's
channel.
before you had no cable, you
yeah,
had nothing. You had Channel Two though.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like no. So like I just think it's very self-serving, and self-centered, and you're just doing what you got to do to hurt your community so you can
and I
profit.
think too. Like some people saying in the comments, like it's messed up that you only talk about the women. What about the men? And at first I was like, yo, I think the men might be worse than the women as far as rap. Like somebody like King Von, rest in peace. If you hear his music, he's talented as hell. But your man is always talking about how his crew got more bodies than the other crew. Or it was 24 to like they had like a score. They had like a score of how many people they was killing on each other's side. And this is what they rapping about. I'm like, damn, like it's hard to say that's positive. It's not positive at all. Then you got other rappers like Future talking about wild, crazy drugs. Then you got, you know what I'm saying? Like, all these rappers talking about money, sex, how many chicks they got. Then you got the girls talking about money, sex, what the dudes are doing for them for the money and sex. It's like, that's all you hear on the radio. And like, I'm in Atlanta, so it's like 100 radio stations. They all play the same thing. Then I got satellite radio. They all play the same thing. You can't escape it. You know, so you can't escape it.
Well, well, see, here's my opinion. I believe that there's balances in life, and men balance women, women balance men.
Yeah,
There's certain things that men do by nature. There's certain things that women do good by nature, and I feel like those lines are being crossed, and that's the problem. Like if I have like there's marriages down, relationships down, everything when it comes to men and women coming together is down, especially in the black community.
yeah,
And a lot of that is because of the imbalance. Women have been amazing at being changing. They have evolved completely, and I clap for them. I applaud them. But at the same time, it's like as women change, as it goes that way, then men shift also. So we are connected on that level. So by women being so tough and so arrogant and this, that, and next, trying to own their sexuality, then that push men to be different and like react different to that situation, to react different to them. We only can react. We can't change too much. We only can react to them because anytime a man changes from outside of that box of what a man used to be. Whatever we get, we're not a real man. We that, this, that, and the third.
Hmm.
So what it all boils down to is, again, bring it back for what I said, lead with love. If you love someone, you will make whatever, you will do whatever it takes for that person to not be hurt, that person to be better. And if you're not if you're not doing that, you really love yourself and not the community and not the people around you. And that's my opinion on that, because I feel like a lot of women get pushed, and there's reasons why, like single parent homes and stuff like that. A lot of women get pushed in that position and have to be so strong.
Yeah.
And a lot of men do get cuddled by their moms and stuff like that. But at the same time, once we grow older and understand what's going on, we need to make those changes. If you are a woman and your best thing is a job, and you own a CEO, and your husband ain't as good, or the guy ain't as good, but he's good at the things for running the house, let him run the house.
Yeah.
Don't trip on him. You know what I mean? It's about coming together and making this work for your community. Whether whoever leads, let them lead, but y'all got to come together, because if we don't, we're going to keep that cycle going.
So I don't know, because I think it kind of does start with the man. Not to sound like some Derek.
That's sexist. Ain't that a sexist? But ain't that a sexist thing?
No, I'd be
Won't they
like,
say
all right.
that?
It's like, all right, boom, check it. So like, say like a single parent home, a single mother home. Why the man is not with the woman? If that woman was good enough for you to lay down with, shouldn't y'all be together? And I'm like, I'm not throwing stones, because I was the same way. I'm the same way. Like, all right,
I'm
yeah,
about to
you know what I'm
say, I
saying? So
know
I'm saying, like, I got to take responsibility of what I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, my son was in a single parent home. I was the one raising my son for the majority. You know what I mean? So, but like, we got to change that mindset. Like, we out here just sticking our dick at anything and not knowing the cover consequences for real. Like, yo, you having a child, that child is our responsibility. And a lot of times, if it's a single parent home, one person ran off. That one person don't want to be
well,
part of it. And a lot of times,
well,
it's the
you
guy
can't you
that's
can't
by
say it ran
himself,
off. You can't say it ran off. I mean, some people are pushed away, but
pushed
I
away.
can't
So that's
speak
on both sides.
for yeah, I can't speak for any other culture, but I could speak for the black culture. And again, this also goes back to white supremacy with the whole welfare and the black men not being around. And that's the only way that you could get the government
It
support by
goes
the
back to
by the fathers not being there and stuff
slavery,
like that.
because
What'd you say?
it goes back to slavery. So like, think about it.
Yeah.
How many times a woman will get raped by the master or whatever, and that's their child. Now that father, like, damn, like you had a child from another man. Like, how are you supposed to feel?
So like again, this we gotta lead with love, because we know we're so broken. So like, and a lot of times once things become a habit, it becomes a trend, and these things start to happen. But I have so much faith in these younger generations, because they're not with what we were able to accept, or the generation even before us was able to accept, because the information is out there. So they're treating it differently right now. For the generation that we in, and the one before us, and maybe the one under us, maybe these might be issues for us personally. But
Yeah,
I think the younger generations aren't dealing with these issues the way we are. They're not hindered so much.
I think their issues might be worse.
Think so?
Yeah, because it's like it's a lot of confusion. It's a lot of trying to take name, like they're trying to set. They say, you can choose your gender now. You know what I mean? Like, that's a lot. That's a lot for a child to take in. And I have to look it up, but they said, like, when people change genders and go fully through with it, the suicide rate is very high because they don't know how to deal with it. You know what I mean? So it's like that's a whole other ballgame that you and I have to deal with.
Well, that is a tough thing, but also I look at it like we are like the transitional generation, where we got so many old like habits and values and things that we were raised with, but yet we in a new world. So we got to also like kind of figure out how to bring our morals and values into this new world. And so I feel like we on both sides, we on the fence, we on both sides. And that's why I feel like it's a little bit more difficult, but I guess it's to each their own perspective.
And also, too, I think this newer generation is dealing with more of perfection. You know what I mean? Like, everybody gotta have perfect teeth. Everybody gotta have this quote unquote perfect body. Everybody gotta have this filter face, makeup on. They can't go outside the house. It's so vain. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you.
everybody gotta have a farm. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gotta have this type of car. Everybody gotta have that. Everybody gotta have this on. It's like, yo, nobody can't just go outside with a South Pole jacket no more. Like, it's just we have to.
First of all, no. South Pole was popping. You crazy? You don't
It was
do that. Don't
alright.
do
So it was alright.
that.
I didn't wear South Pole in high school. But I'm saying like we was.
What? I had the red and white and blue South Pole jacket with the blue, red and white, blue Tommy Hilfiger pants and sweater. Where I was fly and the blue, white, red Grant Hills. You crazy?
So I'm saying like people have to be on 10 every time. From the pictures they take to the stuff they post, it's like you have to have a filter. You know what I'm saying? People always have to have a filter on their stuff. You got to everything got to be Photoshop. There's no like it's
But I mean, what I mean, what's there's nothing wrong for trying to reach perfection.
no.
It's how you handle it when you don't reach that perfection is the situation. So we don't know how these kids are handling that. It could be good, it could be bad. So
Yeah,
I do understand that. But they also got so much more information, so much more at their fingertips from the day they're born. So we didn't have all that stuff. You understand? So to us, it might even look like perfection, but to them, it's normal. I mean, babies playing with cell phones at 6 months and knowing what to do. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
and this is how they're raised all the way up. So they're going to be way better than what we was because the information and the technology is way better.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Because I don't know. I just see this stuff. I'm like, damn. This you
How
get
many vegans
like,
did you know in the 80s and 90s?
what was that?
How many vegans you knew in the 80s and 90s?
Like one or two
Now, how many you know? Hundreds, probably.
thousand. Yeah, I know a lot. Because we're in the vegan community, so you know it's easy to find vegans now. You know what I mean? Especially like here in
But I'm just saying, like what, like just people, like the information out there that you need to eat better because us as Black people, a lot of our illnesses is because of how we eat.
yeah,
Blood pressure, high blood pressure, diabetes, the strokes, hypertension, XYZ. If we just change our diet, it wouldn't back in the day. My grandma didn't know that. My mother didn't know that. You know what I mean? So the number one thing in life is your health.
fact,
So that's a big plus that they got going on.
yeah.
And then information, education is the second thing. The information is all the way out there for them. They could search anything and find anything. We couldn't do that. We had to go through encyclopedias and
We
you know what
just
I mean? Like, no,
the library.
the Webster, you know what I mean? The big
Yeah,
old Webster joint out that's big.
it's crazy. I just found the dictionary in my house. I was like, what am I doing with this? What I got this dictionary for?
You know what I mean? So I got a lot of hope for the future. And another thing, those young people were the ones, a lot of them were out there. It was more young people than
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. Facts. I could testify to that. I agree with that. I see that.
So, you know what I mean? I just know that, you know what I mean? I have hope for the future. I feel like we have come so far and we've done so much, like just through this pandemic, like I never knew it'd have been like this. And when you go to these protests, it's nothing but love. I dropped my
Yeah.
phone, somebody picked it up here. You dropped this. You know what I mean? I'm trying to carry something that's heavy while I'm speaking on the megaphone. Somebody let me carry this for you. Somebody else, look, you need a water. That's love right there, bro.
Yeah. Because everybody together is one common.
Yeah. So I have hope for the future and I have hope for the youth, bro. I have so much hope, bro. Like I think they're gonna go so much farther than we ever did.
I hope so. I hope so. I just hope that whatever weapon they're using to keep the future down, I hope it don't work. Like I do believe
Yeah.
music is that weapon. You know what I'm saying? I do believe social media is that weapon, that vainness. You know what I'm saying? Like I hope that the future don't really feed into that and they see through the bullshit because it's something that we gotta fight.
But
And
look what you doing with your son. Look what you doing with your son, bro.
yeah,
I don't know your life. I don't know your parents. I don't. I mean, I'm just gonna guess. Did your parents really step up and do it like that for you?
nah,
My parent, my family didn't do what I'm doing with my daughter. No disrespect to them,
yeah,
but a lot of times the knowledge wasn't out there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like even with like stuff like the stimulus, my daughter get a stimulus check. Guess what? That's not my money. That's her money. You know what I mean? That save half of it, invest the other half. If I need a little bit to buy some things for her that I might not have the money, I'll do that too. But I'm not going to use that to go on a trip to Jamaica and
Yeah.
all this stuff they talking about, crab legs and whatever else they talking about.
Casamigos.
Nah, bro, like, eh, I'm
Nah, that's
grown.
what's up, man. That's what's up. I wish I got me.
That's how you break generational curses, bro. That's how you break it.
Yeah,
We got an opportunity here. They're giving us all the stimulus money. If you working and you don't need like you don't need to spend that money, or you can find ways to let your kids like just invest it or whatever. That's how we're gonna get out of this poverty. We can use this as a weapon,
yeah,
not
fact.
just use this to have fun for the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're doing that, yo. Because a lot of people just they say like, I got 5 kids. I'm taking all this bread for the household, and I'm doing what I want. You know what I'm saying? Some people just doing that because you get what
But
you get
yo,
14 a
if
kid.
you have if they have 5 kids and they get all this bread, stimulus money, the smart the smart thing to do if they didn't want to do it that way, that's a down payment on a home right there.
Facts. Yeah, I'm about to say that.
Like, come on, like just be smart with this money because it's not gonna be forever.
Nah, it's
It's
not.
gonna run out real fast. And
Yeah,
then you're gonna be back where you was, all you're gonna have is these memories.
you might be worse.
Exactly.
You might be worse. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah,
Mm.
I was not expecting this to go for 40 minutes. I was not expecting. I was like,
Nah,
like 7
we jumped
minutes.
over everywhere. We jumped around a lot,
Yeah, we
but
did. We
you know,
did.
it's the energy. You got great energy, you know what I mean? And like I'm not here trying to say it gotta be this way, and you're not saying it gotta be this way. It's just
Yeah,
us expressing ideas and thoughts that, may help ourselves and other people.
that's facts. That's facts. So I'm gonna give you this video, right? So you can put it where you want to, but since it's going to be on my platform, I guess you can tell people where they can find you at because you popping on social media.
Um, you can find me on Instagram, J Vegas 1000, on Facebook, J Vegas. Um, that's pretty much it. But I'm always trying to, find a way to uplift our people, and that's what my page is for mainly.
Hmm.
You'll see pictures of me protesting, my daughter affirmations, just different things that's inspirational. And I feel like if you have a chance to inspire people, whether it's me, you, or anyone out there,
Yeah,
do that because that inspiration could change someone's life.
that's facts. Your daughter, what's her business? She said she invests in it. Oh, she just was she doing like currency trading?
Well, I'm invested in the stock market
Okay,
and different stuff like that. But my daughter, she does have, well, she has a lemonade business, but
yeah,
with the COVID, it kind of messed that up. But she has other talents. Like this Saturday, she's doing a young entrepreneur event where she paints. So she got these real great African painting. And I'm gonna let y'all know, no, I did not do it for her. It's that amazing. She was 6 years old. I gave her guidance on, how to do certain things, or what I mean, but she did that. That's all her, and she's amazing. And now that she's 8, 2 years later,
yeah.
the ones that y'all gonna see coming up should be mind blowing because she's amazing, and
That's what's
I'm
up.
glad God gave me a chance to raise her.
That's what's up, man. All right, so now we're gonna wrap this up because we had what 45 minutes. Is
Yeah, I know you're gonna
That's the
chop it up or
podcast,
whatever.
episode 1 podcast with Jay Vegas.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I
All
appreciate you.
right, bro.
Game on, yo.
Holla at me, bro. I love what you're doing, bro. Keep doing
Thank
it,
you.
man.
Same here to you, man. That's how to get you on so we can chop it up.
All right, no doubt, bro.
All right, later.